somebody literally came, picked up the laptop, put it in their pants, and then walked away. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how you can stay safe in university. I was very naive when I was in university. I did a lot of dumb things that I don't even know why I did them, but they were not safe, and I'm just lucky that nothing bad happened to me because it was just so dumb. I'll be going through the top 6 tips that you need to stay safe in university. These were things that I started using in my later years that I wish I used in the beginning. So I'm making this video so that hopefully you guys don't end up making the same mistakes I did when I was in university and end up putting yourself in some pretty unsafe situations. Okay, let's get started. The first tip that you need to know for staying safe in university is to always know where you're going. Now, this might seem pretty self-explanatory. You're like, Alex, this is obvious. Well, yes, it sounds obvious, but it's obvious until you're with a group of friends and they know the directions and you're like, it's okay, they know the directions, I don't need to know. But you, yourself, you need to know at all times where you're going. Whether that be to the library, to a party, wherever it is, you need to know the directions because you never know what's gonna happen. I know that when I was in university, in Frosh Week, I did the dumbest thing. I don't know what was wrong with me, but basically I had gone to this Frosh event with a few of my friends from high school. They were going to the same university as I was. So we went to the Frosh event, but afterwards when they were going home, they lived somewhere that was in the complete opposite direction of where I lived. So they just gave me a brief overview of how to use the subway and where to go, which I had no idea. This was my first time basically living in downtown Toronto. So I didn't even know how to use the subway, but they said just get on this one, you'll be good, get off here, and then you'll be on campus. So I'm like, okay, all good. They gave me the instructions, I know where to go. Well, they got on their train and I'm standing there waiting, and then all of a sudden this security guy comes up and says,
"Oh yeah, there's no more trains for tonight."
What do you think I was thinking? I was freaking out. I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And my friends are underground, so me calling them isn't gonna do anything because they won't get my call. So now I'm on my own. But I have no idea where I am and I have no idea where I need to go. So luckily, there were some other people from the university that were trying to catch the same train. So I just slowly followed behind them. They didn't even know I was following them, but I was following them the whole way to try and find where to go. And the security guy said to take a bus. Now, I'm not familiar with the buses here either, so now I'm even more scared. I'm like, I'm getting on some sketchy bus that I don't even know because my friend didn't tell me to take this bus. So I just keep following those people from my school. I get on the bus, I'm like, hopefully this takes me somewhere. Little did I think, well, these people are older, so they probably don't live on campus. So I just got off where they got off, which was in the middle of nowhere. It was not on campus. And I'm just wandering around. My phone, which was the worst phone ever, it would die in the cold, and this was about 12 o'clock at night, so it was cold out, and my phone was about to die. I didn't know where I was going. I'm literally just wandering around in the pitch dark with people walking around. I'm scared out of my mind. I've never been in this situation. It's literally my first week at university. Honestly, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why I didn't think maybe you should know the directions or maybe you should know where you're going before going to this event since people aren't coming back with you. Nope, thought I was tough and I'd just wing it. Well, I learned quickly about that one. So luckily my phone didn't die right away and I was able to see quickly on the maps where I was and try to go off of memory because my phone died maybe like 5 minutes later. So I'm literally panicking, walking home. At this point, Uber wasn't really a thing, or at least I didn't think it was a thing because it didn't even occur to me to call an Uber because it wasn't that popular. So I just walked aimlessly home until I finally found my place, and luckily I didn't get hurt or anything. But as a young girl walking home at 12 o'clock at night in the middle of downtown Toronto, anything really could have happened to me. So I would hate for you guys to be in the same situation. So just make sure that you know exactly where you're going at all times. Even if it's just down the street to the library, just make sure you know where you're going so that if anything happens, you know how to get home. The second thing that you need to know to stay safe in university is to not walk home alone at night. Now, with the last story there, you can see I didn't follow this one either. I was walking home alone at night at 12 o'clock with no idea where I was going. So I've broken 2 rules now. And it wasn't the first time. Even after that, I decided to walk home more alone at night. What is wrong with me? I don't know. But literally every time I was walking home alone at night, I was panicking on the inside. So you do not want to be the person that's panicking, looking over your shoulder, freaking out like me. Just don't walk home alone. And I mentioned this in my previous video on things you need to know in university. I'll link that down below and at the end of the video if you want to watch that one too. But one of the things that I mentioned in there was that there are safety escorts on most campuses. So if you don't know what those are, I'll just give you a brief overview since I kind of went more in detail on this in my other video. But basically they're just people that are a part of the campus that you can call to walk you home late at night if you're by yourself. So if for any reason you're left alone in the dark at night, just call a safety escort and have them escort you home. Never walk home alone because you never know what can happen. So please just do not be like me. The next thing is safety for your belongings, and it's to never leave your personal items alone. So if you're ever in the library, the cafeteria, class, I don't care where you are, if you have your laptop, your phone, anything that's valuable, headphones, whatever it might be, and you need to go to the washroom, you just need to step out for a minute, whatever it is, do not leave your stuff there. I know you're probably thinking what can happen in 2 minutes, but there are a lot of people out there that like to steal. And even if you ask somebody who's close by to watch your things, I wouldn't even trust that person. I know when my boyfriend was in the library one time, he was sitting there studying and this guy needed to go to the washroom. So he asked this other guy, who I guess was nearby, to watch his computer, which he doesn't actually know this guy, he just asked somebody who happened to be sitting there. So this guy goes off to the washroom. My boyfriend's sitting there just doing his work. All of a sudden he sees this other guy come by, grab the laptop, put it in his pants. Yes, put it in his pants. I don't know why this guy thought this was gonna work, but he put it in his pants. Luckily, my boyfriend was watching, and the guy who was supposed to be watching the laptop didn't even notice, which is why I say don't trust people. And my boyfriend saw, so he ran after the guy, got security, and basically stopped this guy from stealing the laptop. But if my boyfriend wasn't watching, that guy would have lost his laptop, and that would have cost him a lot of money. He probably would have been very upset coming back from the washroom. So he gets back from the washroom. My boyfriend tells him that this guy tried to steal his laptop. The guy who was supposed to be watching the laptop is like,
"What? Somebody stole the laptop?"
This guy's confused. He had no idea. He had no clue. He saw nothing. He was completely oblivious to what was going on around him. So the fact that the guy asked him really meant nothing because he didn't even see that somebody literally came, picked up the laptop, put it in their pants, and then walked away. Okay? So trust me, do not leave your belongings alone anywhere at any time. The next thing that you should do to stay safe in university is to go on dates in public places. So you're probably at some point going to go on a date or meet somebody. It could even be a friend that you just want to hang out with. And I would suggest the first time that you hang out with people to be in public places because you really never know what somebody's intentions are. You really don't know that person. Even if you've already met them, let's say you met them at a party. Yes, you got to know them for 30 minutes or an hour at the party, but that doesn't mean you really know them. So don't be giving out your address and telling them to come over next week or tomorrow or whatever. Just if you want to hang out with somebody, always meet with them in a public place at least the first few times, just in case they're not who you thought they were. I mean, chances of them plotting to like kill you or something are very low. Just be careful because you never know what's going to happen, and being in an enclosed dorm room or apartment can put yourself in a really vulnerable situation. So it's best just to meet in public to start with, and then if you do start to feel comfortable after a while and want to invite them over to your place, then I would at least text your friends and make sure they know that this person's coming to your place and at what time, and to check in on you. So that way if you don't respond to texts or if something goes wrong, that at least somebody knows where you are and who you're with. But you just always want to be super careful because in university you're meeting a lot of new people, and though they're just students like you never really know what they're thinking. So just be careful and don't give out your personal information until you really know somebody. The next thing you need to do to stay safe in university is to be careful what you do with your drinks. So by now, pretty much everybody thinks they know this one, but they don't always follow it. So knowing where your drinks are comes with a lot of different things to it. So this includes when you put your drink down and if you walk away to go to the washroom, talk to friends, whatever it might be, and you come back, don't drink that drink. You never know what might be put in the drink. You never know who touched it. You just don't know. So just be careful and get a new drink. And then on top of that, even when you're holding your drink, Always keep an eye on what's going on around you, because you could look away for a second and somebody could slip something in there, or you could be talking to somebody and they could be distracting you so their friend can put something in the drink. You never know, and this is a super cynical way to think, but you just want to be as cautious and careful as you can, because it's much better to be careful now than to have regrets later. So never drink a drink that you put down. Always keep an eye on your drink. Never take a drink from somebody else. Just always know what you're drinking and make sure that the drink you have is yours and not coming from somebody else. And then the final tip that I have, which is kind of similar to the one that I just talked about, is to always be careful how much you drink. Now, I know you want to have a good time, you want to go out, you want to have some drinks, I get it, but you need to be careful how much you're actually drinking, because you never want to drink to the point that you're blacking out. And I know this might seem pretty obvious, but sometimes people get carried away and they don't realize how much they're drinking until it's too late. So if you know what your limits are and you know at what point you're going to get to that blackout stage, then set yourself a limit on how many drinks you're going to have that night to make sure that you don't get to that stage, because having fun and drinking is one thing, but blacking out is a whole nother thing. You never want to put yourself in a position where you don't know where you are and you can't control your own actions. You have to be responsible for yourself, and especially never depend on somebody to take care of you. If you're already expecting a friend to take care of you when you black out, that's a whole problem in itself, that you already have expectations for that, because putting your body and your life into the hands of somebody else is not a good thing at any time and any point in your life. You need to always be responsible for yourself and be taking care of yourself, because nobody's going to take care of yourself better than you. So never depend on somebody else to take care of you, even if it's your best friend, because you never know if that person gets distracted. You never know what happens to them. Maybe they get to a point where they can't take care of themselves, then who's going to take care of both of you? And you just don't want to be in a state where somebody can take advantage of you, or you just aren't able to defend yourself and protect yourself. So just make sure you're not drinking to that point. And again, just set a limit for yourself, and then that way you know that you'll always be safe and able to take care of yourself when you're drinking. So that's it. Those were the 6 things that you need to know to stay safe while you're in university. These were tips that really helped me when I was in university, and though I kind of broke them in my first year, I learned them as I went on through university and really wish I had known them earlier. So hopefully now by watching this video, you guys will remember all these tips and make sure to follow them and do not break them like me. So just always try to be safe and cautious and as careful as possible so you don't end up having regrets or putting yourself in some unsafe situations. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to hit that like button and the notification bell. And if you want more videos on university and life advice, make sure to subscribe. See you guys next time. Bye.